Hello and welcome to the Midday Update. These are the top headlines from our newsroom today. Oman night movement banned to end, commercial activities to remain closed. Taking COVID-19 vaccines will not break your fast during the month of Ramadan. Over 200 patients admitted in ICU. Expats with fresh work family visas allowed to enter country. Smart Shield software developed in Oman to help in fight against COVID-19. US begins study assessing allergic reactions to Pfizer and Moderna vaccines. Canada's Ontario to begin 4-week COVID-19 state of emergency today. New Zealand suspends entry for travelers from India amid COVID-19 spike. Sailors push themselves to the limits at the Musanna Open Championship. These were the top headlines for the day. Let's see how the weather condition looks like in the Sultanate in our weather update.
This is Mayfel Shukeli with today's weather update. And right now, I'm in the TFM studio in Al Khoir. Before we move on to weather, here is our fact for the day. Lightning serves an important role in the nitrogen cycle, and this is by oxidizing the diatomic nitrogen air into nitrates. And this is deposited by rain, which can fertilize growth of plants and other organisms. That is our fact for the day. Now let's move on to weather. According to Oman Meteorology and Civil Aviation Authorities, there will be mainly clear skies in the Sultanate with chances of cloud development over Al Hajar Mountains and also chances of late night to early morning, low-level clouds or fog patches over the parts of South Al-Sharqiyya, Al-Wusta, Dhafar, and along the coastal areas of Oman Sea. And now let's take a look at how the weather will be like in all the governorates. Muscat will be sunny, temperatures between 32 to 23 degrees Celsius. Musandam will be sunny, temperatures between 30 to 25 degrees Celsius. North Al-Batana will be sunny, temperatures between 32 to 23 degrees Celsius. South Al-Batana will be sunny, temperatures between 34 to 21 degrees Celsius. Al-Buraymi will be sunny, temperatures between 34 to 19 degrees Celsius. Al-Dhahira will be sunny, temperatures between 36 to 18 degrees Celsius. Al-Dakhiliya will be sunny, temperatures between 38 to 21 degrees Celsius. North Al-Sharqiyya will be sunny, temperatures between 38 to 19 degrees Celsius. South Al-Sharqiyya will be sunny, temperatures between 32 to 24 degrees Celsius. Al-Wusta will be sunny, temperatures between 37 to 19 degrees Celsius. And Dhafar will also be sunny, temperatures between 36 to 24 degrees Celsius.
Welcome back to TTV. You're watching Midday Update. Now, before we get into the details of the local stories for the day, let's see how the COVID-19 situation looks like in the Sultanate. The Ministry of Health has announced the registration of 12 death cases due to coronavirus in Oman today. This has taken the total death toll in the Sultanate to 1,747. The health officials have also extended their deepest condolences to the families of the deceased. In addition to that, the Ministry of Health has also registered 1,320 new coronavirus cases in Oman today. The total cases in the country have now touched 168,005, including 149,969 recoveries, as well as 1,747 deaths. According to Ministry of Health, in the past 24 hours, 920 recoveries were also reported. The ministry has urged everyone to adhere to social distancing instructions issued by the Supreme Committee and the Ministry of Health. And now from a local desk. Starting from Thursday, which is today, the movement ban will end. However, commercial activities will continue to be closed from 8 p.m. till 5 a.m. till the beginning of Ramadan. A statement issued online by Oman News Agency said, starting at 5 a.m. this morning, work will end with the decision to prevent movement to return to its normal with the continued closure of commercial activities from 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. until the first morning of the blessed month of Ramadan. Now, with just a few days left to the starting of Ramadan, the Assistant Grand Mufti of Oman has said that it is safe for those who are fasting to be vaccinated, and doing so will not go against the rules of the holy month. With Oman's nationwide COVID-19 vaccination drive currently underway, many of those who will be fasting during the day have wondered whether being administered the vaccine will lead to their fasts considered broken. After reviewing the documentation concerning these vaccines, namely the Oxford AstraZeneca and Pfizer BioNTech injections, the conclusion is that they will have no effect on a person's fasting, said Sheikh Dr. Kahlan Al-Kharousi, the Assistant Grand Mufti. He said that this is because a person who receives the AstraZeneca injection is given a 0.5 ml dose, while a single dose of the Pfizer vaccine is of 0.3 ml. Regardless of the contents of the vaccine, this is a very small amount. There is a ruling under Islamic Sharia that pardons people who take vaccines such as this or any other because it involves injecting medicines into the muscle in very small amounts, he added. With the coronavirus pandemic having impacted many aspects of people's lives, including their economic conditions, way of living, social interactions, and work, Sheikh Kahlan asked people in the country to take the vaccine when they're offered so that life can soon return to normalcy. He said that we have seen that some people choose to delay being administered the vaccine because they believe unfounded rumors and falsification of truths. Scientists and doctors from our country, as well as organizations from the rest of the world, have spoken about the dangers of this pandemic and the importance of taking the vaccine. The Assistant Grand Mufti requested people to not spread rumors because of the panic it would create in society, as well as asked those in the country to not blindly believe them. Those who look for evidence that the vaccine was necessary, he said, adding that needed to look only at the country's medical professionals who willingly risk their own lives to take care of COVID-19 patients and did not hesitate from taking the vaccine once it arrived so that they could continue to look after them. He asked people to not be lazy or negligent when it came to taking vaccines during the holy month of Ramadan. Instead, given the spirit of the month, it is important that those who take the vaccine become examples for others to follow. The Sultanate has registered more than 200 hospitalized patients at intensive care units within 24 hours, according to data from the Ministry of Health. On Wednesday, according to the statistics made available on Tarassut, the coronavirus monitoring app launched by the ministry, showed that the number of those hospitalized during the 24 hours reached 93 and 204 patients admitted to ICU during the past 24 hours, bringing the total number of patients admitted to health institutions to 632 cases, which are showing an increase of the cases of COVID-19 registered of the hospitalized patients at the hospitals of the Sultanate. Ibrahim Al-Maymani, a social activist and data analyst, spoke to Times of Oman about the increase in cases of COVID-19 in the Sultanate and the hospitalized cases in hospitals and intensive care. He said that for the second day in a row, the new cases exceeded 2,000 cases. It is worth noting that the cases that enter hospitals for the last 24 hours are still over 90 cases for the fourth consecutive day. While the number of patients in intensive care exceeded the mark with 200 cases after 168 days, with 204 cases recorded, he added. Expatriates outside the Sultanate who have received their employment visas and family joining visas, allowing them to enter but have not been able to get them stamped, can also fly to the country, the Royal Oman Police has said. According to the Royal Oman Police statement, all those who have been issued these visas are allowed to enter the Sultanate. The rule applies to everyone who received the aforementioned visas before the latest decision of the Supreme Committee, which was announced on 5th April and will come into effect on the 8th. However, citizens of 10 countries listed by the Supreme Committee are not allowed to arrive in Oman. These include Sudan, Lebanon, South Africa, Brazil, Nigeria, Tanzania, Ghana, and Ethiopia. Omani citizens and valid visa who have traveled to these countries in the 14 days prior to their scheduled arrival in Oman will also be banned from the entry. A smart mask that detects patients' temperatures and programs the sort COVID admissions on the basis of the severity of symptoms have been developed by a university in Oman to help the country during the COVID-19 pandemic. Created by Dr. Ibrahim and Dr. Huda Al-Shuwaili from the University of Technology and Applied Sciences, the research behind these projects was made possible through the funding from the Ministry of Higher Education, Research and Innovation. Two separate computer programs were developed. One determines how far COVID-19 has progressed in patients with conditions ranging from mild to critical, and the other, on the basis of presenting symptoms, determines the urgency with which patients need to be admitted to intensive care. Mathematical modeling and machine learning were used to develop the software, which will help optimize patient care and ensure healthcare providers can treat them more efficiently. Dr. Ibrahim said that the team formulated a deterministic compartmental model including various stages of infection such as mild, moderate, severe and critical to study the spread of COVID-19, and estimated the model parameters by fitting the data of the ongoing pandemic in Oman. He added that it consists of 9 nonlinear differential equations that took into account the susceptible individuals, exposed individuals, asymptomatic individuals, the hospitalized individuals, critical individuals, and lastly, the recovered individuals. The objective of the research include developing a mathematical model with different parameters which fit the numbers of people in various clinical stages in terms of severity with respect to the available data in Oman. The team came up with a machine learning model to validate a clinical score that will identify potential admittance in an intensive care unit facility for a laboratory confirmed cases of SARS-CoV-2. This was all from our local desk. It's time for us to take a quick commercial break, but stay tuned as we'll be back with more updates from international desk.
Oman's largest online supermarket now has no minimum order limit. From grocery to household items, Rafiq has everything that you want. Enjoy worry-free shopping with over 8,000 products to choose from and get it delivered straight to your doorstep. Rafiq, you order, we deliver.
It's about time we kicked COVID-19 out of our lives. Join us on TTV Outline every Monday and let us learn how to fight COVID together. Welcome back to TTV. You're watching Midday Update. And now from International Desk. US's National Institutes of Health, commonly known as NIH, announced on Wednesday that it is launching a study to determine the risk of allergic reactions to the Pfizer-BioNTech and Moderna vaccines among certain individuals. A clinical trial is underway to determine whether people who are highly allergic or have a mast cell disorder are at increased risk for immediate and systematic allergic reaction to the Moderna or Pfizer-BioNTech COVID-19 vaccines. The public understandably has been concerned about reports of rare, severe allergic reactions to the Moderna and Pfizer-BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine, said Anthony Fauci, MD, Director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, commonly known as NIAID, which is a part of the National Institutes of Health. He said that the information gathered during this trial will help doctors advise people who are highly allergic or have a mast cell order about the risks and benefits of receiving these two vaccines. However, for most people, the benefits of COVID-19 vaccination far outweigh the risks. Data from the study, which is sponsored and funded by the NIAID, is expected to be released in late summer. The study team will enroll 3,400 adults aged between 18 and 69 years at up to 35 academic allergy research centers nationwide. About 60% of study participants, which is Group 1, must have either a history of severe allergic reactions or a diagnosis of a mast cell disorder, while 40% of participants, which is Group 2, will not. Study staff will collect blood, urine, and nasal swabs from participants before each injection and blood and urine after each injection. If a significant number of systematic allergic reactions to either or both vaccines occur during the trial, investigators will analyze these biological samples to examine possible mechanisms for the reactions and whether certain genetic patterns are associated with higher risk. Ontario is declaring a higher risk of emergency and introducing a stay-at-home order effective this Thursday amid an increase in coronavirus cases, Premier Doug Ford announced on Wednesday. I'm declaring a state of emergency with a province-wide stay-at-home order effective on Thursday. This will be in effect for 4 weeks, Ford told reporters. The Premier noted that non-essential businesses will be limited to curbside pickup service, while big box stores will be limited to selling essential items, including groceries and medical supplies. Ontario introduced a 4-week lockdown starting on Saturday, but that has not stopped the surge in coronavirus variant cases. Ford noted that the daily cases count are rising faster than the worst case scenario projected by an expert panel advising the provincial government. Ontario's public health authorities are recording an average of more than 3,000 new cases daily since the introduction of a third province-wide lockdown since the onset of the pandemic. Experts estimate that variants, particularly the B.1.7, one first identified in the United Kingdom, now make up 2/3 of all new cases. To date, Ontario has reported 370,817 cases and 7,475 virus-related deaths since the onset of the pandemic a year ago. New Zealand this morning has temporarily banned the entry of all travelers from India following a surge in COVID-19 cases arriving from there, local media reported. The ban comes after it was reported that 17 of the 23 new coronavirus cases in managed isolation announced on Thursday had arrived from India. The ban will commence on Sunday and will remain in place until April 28th, New Zealand Herald reported. The island nation has reported 2,531 cases so far. While arrivals from India had triggered the risk assessment, New Zealand Prime Minister said the government would be looking at risks posed by other COVID-19 hotspot countries. This is not a permanent arrangement, but rather a temporary measure, she said. The temporary hold would also help reduce the risk that travelers themselves faced, the Prime Minister added. India has been witnessing a sudden increase in coronavirus cases. The country has so far reported over 128 million cases. The active COVID-19 caseload of the country reached more than 8,443,000, and the daily positivity rate is on a steady rise. Once again, it's time for a quick commercial break, but stay tuned for more updates from our sports desk.
Oman's largest online supermarket now has no minimum order limit. From grocery to household items, Rafiq has everything that you want. Enjoy worry-free shopping with over 8,000 products to choose from and get it delivered straight to your doorstep. Rafiq, you order, we deliver.
It's about time we kicked COVID-19 out of our lives. Join us on TTV Outline every Monday and let us learn how to fight COVID together. Welcome back to TTV. You're watching Midday Update. And now from our sports desk. The penultimate day of racing at the Musanna Open Championship ended in dramatic fashion as sailors across 5 classes pushed themselves to the limits to end the day in contention for honors on Thursday. With Olympic qualification within touching distance, tension was high, and in great conditions, the sailors had to use all of their experience to gain the small advantages that could prove so important in the final rankings. After the second to last rounds of racing, the 49er class remains as tight as ever. Indian pair of KC Ganapathy and Varun Thakkar retained top spot for the third successive day, but the team of Akira Sakai and Russell Ellsworth, representing Hong Kong, won all 3 of yesterday's rounds to propel themselves into second place ahead of the Chinese team of Hong Wei and Chao Xiang in third. The Omani team of Musa Balhadi and Walid Al-Kindi ended the day in 5th place, 2 points of a medal position. The fleet is incredible close with 5 points separating 3rd and 6th place, meaning Olympic qualification will come down to the final 3 rounds. With this news, we have come to the end of the episode for today, but stay tuned as we'll be back again next week with more updates and latest news your way. Keep watching TTV.
You've just heard the live feed from the TTV studios on TFM 95.4. Let's talk.